Tablet 1, The History of Thoth the Atlantean. The first rubric asks us to come to a higher awareness and to be open to deeper truths. Thoth introduces himself as an Atlantean, master of mysteries and magician, a mighty king and keeper of the records. He states emphatically that he lives from generation to generation, sometimes taking a hiatus in the halls of Amenti. His goal was to preserve his great Atlantis wisdom for the guidance of those that are to come after his departure from Egypt Chem, and during his absence. Thoth, having three incarnations, originated in his current manifestation in a material body in the great city of Kior on the island of Undal. He does not divulge how long ago it was, but indicates it was a time far in the past. His father, Thoth-me, is referenced as the greatest among the children of men, keeper of the great temple. As we know, the Atlanteans were headed by Poseidon Enki and his island kingdom described by Plato in the Critias. Thus, as was in the case in Sumer, Ningshita Thoth is clearly Enki's son. This is yet another AK name for Enki, Ea Nudimud. Enki Thoth-me, dwelling in the great temple of Atlantis, who had the mission of playing liaison between the children of light and the races of men in inhabiting the 10 islands. Thoth's incarnation is distinguished from mankind, stating that he began as a mighty one of Atlantis, living from eon to eon, renewing his life in the halls of Amenti. The source of his Amenti-spawned immortality is given as coming from the river of life that flows eternally onward. Reference 10, page 5. Recall the water of eternal life that Anu offered to Adapa during his visit to heaven, Nibiru. Could this be a colloidal solution of monoatomic gold, also known as starfire gold? As discussed in my first book, the Anunnaki elite were clearly partaking of a conical bread cake, formed from the white powder found beneath a stone in the floor of Hathor's temple on Mount Sinai. The next line brings into question just how many times Thoth has incarnated versus renewing his current incarnation. 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from the darkness into the light, my strength and power renewed. Thoth indicates that his renewal process in the Amenti longevity chamber is overdue, and that he'll be going there soon. His initial audience is disclosed as those in the land of Chem, or Egypt as we now know it. A prophecy is given that in some unknown future time, Thoth will rise again mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind under the tutelage of the priesthood left to guard the emerald tablets. They are warned to keep his doctrine pure and avoid falsely betraying the emerald tablet lessons, or suffer a curse that will befall them. A brief discussion regarding the fall of Atlantis is presented. Gradually the state of consciousness was eroded in the kingdoms of Atlantis, being replaced with the spawn of a lower star or state of being. At the end of Plato's historical accounting regarding Atlantis, it becomes clear that the high moral character, which was once the aspiration of all island inhabitants, versus material gain, came to a cataclysmic end. The reason for the fallen state was attributed to the intermixing of genetic material, leading to a loss of connection to the higher state of consciousness, prolific among the more purebred citizens. Plato's account ends with Zeus being inserted into a judgmental council position, which, from what we know of Enlil Zeus, nothing good could come. Additionally, Thoth indicates that other trouble was afoot, claiming that the dweller of Guanti was summoned and subsequently changed to the flower of life frequency or intensity, or both. Drunvalo Melchizedek wrote 2 books in a series titled The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, reference 32 and 33, in which he describes an energetic grid around the Earth, whose origins and structures derive from the ancient symbol. Interestingly enough, I learned how to draw this symbol using only a compass. It was used as artwork on one of the didgeridoos I fabricated out of a yucca cactus in San Diego, California. See Figure 14 below. Figure 14, Flower of Life symbol. Now we proceed to the actual text. I, Thoth the Atlantean, master of mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti, set down for the guidance of those that are to come after, these records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. In the great city of Kior, on the island of Undal, in a time far past, I began this incarnation. Not as little men of the present age did. The mighty ones of Atlantis live and die, but rather from eon to eon did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. 100 times 10 have I descended the hall that way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from the darkness into the light, my strength and power renewed. For a time I descend, and the men of Chem is alchemy in ancient Egypt, shall know me no more. But in a time yet unborn will I rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind. Then beware, O men of Chem, if ye have falsely portrayed my teachings, for I shall cast ye down from your high estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north or the men of the south, lest my curse fall upon ye. Remember and heed my words, for surely I will return again, and require of thee that which ye guard. I, even from beyond time, and from beyond death will I return, rewarding or punishing as ye have required your trust. Great were my people in the ancient days, great beyond the conception of the little people now around me, knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the heart of infinity, knowledge that belonged to earth's youth. Wise were we with the wisdom of the children of light who dwelt among us. Strong were we with the power drawn from the eternal fire. And all of these, greatest among the children of men, was my father, Thoth, keeper of the great temple, link between the children of light who dwelt within the temple and the races of men who inhabited the 10 islands. Mouthpiece, after the 3, of the dweller of Unal, speaking to the kings with the voice that must be obeyed. Grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father the elder mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire of wisdom, until it burst into a consuming flame. Not desired I but the attainment of wisdom, until on a great day the command came from the dweller of the temple, that I be brought before him. Few there were among the children of men, who had looked upon that mighty face and lived. For not as the sons of men are the children of light, when they are not incarnate in a physical body. Chosen I was from the sons of men, taught by the dweller so that his purpose might be fulfilled, purposes yet unborn in the womb of time. Long ago I dwelt in the temple, learning ever and yet ever more wisdom, until I too approached the light emitted from the great fire. Taught me he the path to Amente, the underworld where the great king sits upon his throne of might. Deep I bowed in homage before the lords of life and the lords of death, receiving as my gift the key of life. Free was I of the halls of Amente, bound not by death to the circle of life. Far to the stars I journeyed until space and time became as naught. Then, having drunk deep of the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there found I greater mysteries, and was glad. For only in the search for truth could my soul be stilled, and the flame within be quenched. Down through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste the cup of death, and return again in the light of life. Gradually from the kingdoms of Atlantis past waves of consciousness had been one with me, only to be replaced by the spawn of a lower star. In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into a flower. Downward into the darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans, until at last this wrath arose from his Aguanti, the dweller. This word has no English equivalent. It means a state of detachment. Speaking the word, calling the power. Deep in the earth's heart the sons of Amente heard, and hearing, directing the changing of the flower of fire, that burns eternally, changing and shifting, using the Logos until that fire changed its direction. Over the world then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance, until only the temple of light was left, standing on the great mountain of Undal, still rising out of the water. Some there who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. Called to me then the master, saying, Gather ye together my people. Take them by the arts ye have learned afar across the waters, until ye reach the land of the hairy barbarians, dwelling in caves of the desert. Follow there the plan that ye know of. Gathered I then my people, and entered the great ship of the master. Upward we rose into the morning. Dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters. Vanished from the earth until the time appointed was the great temple. Fast we fled toward the sun of the morning, until beneath us lay the land of the children of Chem. Raging they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. Then spoke I to them in words calm and peaceful, telling them of the night of Atlantis, saying we were children of the sun and its messengers. Cowed I them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they groveled when I released them. Long dwelt we in the land of Chem, long and yet long again, until obeying the commands of the Master, who while sleeping yet lives so eternally, I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time wisdom might rise again in her children. Long time dwelt I in the land of Chem, doing great works by the wisdom within me. Upward grew into the light of knowledge the children of Chem. Watered by the rains of my wisdom, blasted I then a path to Amenti, so that I might retain my powers, living from age to age a son of Atlantis, keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. Great grew the sons of Chem, conquering the people around them, growing slowly upward in soul force. Now for a time I go among them, into the dark halls of Amenti, deep in the halls of the earth, before the lords of the powers, face to face once again with the dweller. Raised I high over the entrance a doorway, a gateway leading down to Amenti. Few there would be with courage to dare it, few past the portal to dark Amenti. Raised over the passage I, a mighty pyramid, using the power that overcomes earth force, gravity. Deep and yet deeper place I a force house or chamber. From it carved I a circular passage, reaching almost to the great summit. There in the apex set I the crystal, sending the way into the time-space, drawing the force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to Amenti. Other chambers I built and left vacant to all seeming, yet hidden within them are the keys to Amenti. He who in courage would dare the dark realms, let him be purified first by long fasting. Lie in the sarcophagus of stone in my chamber, then reveal I to him the great mysteries. Soon shall he follow to where I shall meet him, even in the darkness of earth shall I meet him. I, Thoth, Lord of Wisdom, meet him and hold him and dwell with him always. Builded I the great pyramid, patterned after the pyramid of earth force, burning eternally so that it, too, might remain through the ages. In it I builded my knowledge of magic science, so that I might be here when again I return from Amenti, I, while I sleep in the halls of Amenti. My soul, roaming free, will incarnate, dwell among men in this form or another, Hermes thrice born. Emissary on earth am I of the dweller, fulfilling his commands so many might be lifted. Now return I to the halls of Amenti, leaving behind me some of my wisdom. Preserve ye and keep ye the command of the dweller. Lift ever upwards your eyes toward the light. Surely in time ye are one with the Master. Surely by right ye are one with the Master. Surely by right ye are one with the All. Now I depart from ye. Know my commandments. Keep them and be them, and I will be with you, helping and guiding you into the light. Now before me opens the portal. Go I down in the darkness of night.